Hello and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Today we're pleased to bring you another A Link to the Past Randomizer Crossworld Keysanity Tournament match. It is Losers Bracket Round 5 and we have zelgadissan versus dataplet. And I'm joined on commentary today by Liberal and Excalibur. And how you doing today?
It is a lovely night for some rando, so let's have some good late night rando action. Time zones may vary. Dataplet's been fighting his way through the losers bracket since losers bracket round 1, so has played an awful lot more cross keys this tournament than Zelda has. But they're both sort of we're deep enough in the tournament. We're getting to well-known players playing against other well-known players. So
and I'm just going to set them off, but there will be a short delay. So
wonderful.
Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later.
This is going to be a fun match.
Yeah, these guys are both unlikely to make. The difference is going to be either the inherent randomness in cross keys, or relatively pathing decisions to leave things behind that maybe the downside pays. Zelda,
taking connectors early or dropping them for later, that sort of thing. Those rounding choices will always change it.
Yeah. One of these runners, no spoilers, was super lucky to get through their last round. So both the runners choosing to start at Link's house, do the Houlihan start. This is still, I think it's probably about half the runners in the tournament are using this start. It's conservative in that it always sort of gives you the same thing, so you get less information early, but does mean you have money, so when you just come look out the bomb shop or whatever, you're good to go.
Yeah, it's always useful to kind of have that secured for sure.
Yeah, there's an argument that just starting at the sanctuary and starting to do stuff as quickly as possible gets you more information more quickly, though occasionally it leads to awkward starts where you can't bomb a wall or whatever. Nothing of interest at the witch's hut.
Having a bit of trouble with that fake flipper. There we go.
You'd think that dataplet had enough practice on that by now, but
some days you just can't hit the pixel.
You get 2 pixels going to the left, because Zelda is the only reason that's true.
Yeah, there's no reason for this kind of consistency or lack thereof.
Yes, there's weird asymmetries in the way that A Link to the Past is programmed, where in particular Link's movement speed alternates between 2 pixel and 1 pixel per frame at walking speed, but starts on 2s going in 2 directions and 1s going in the other 2 directions, because it does.
And just a fairy in the front door.
I don't know if one of these guys is deliberately altering their usual start to shadow the other one, because I think the Houlihan straight into the castle area is relatively uncommon.
Yeah, I haven't seen it much in this tournament at all.
And so I don't know if this is one of the runners planning on winning out on execution and wants to cover the other guy. Dataplet doing sweet stealing bomb strategies is always makes me happy. Such a goofy thing that you can do in this game.
Steal a bomb and get a bomb, always nice.
It looks like we get to start in Kakariko today, which is convenient for these many entrances. It should make them slightly more excited about following connectors in CAC, just because they can get back here very quickly. And
so on Zelda's side, we got a sword and a moon pearl and a big key to Skull Woods.
So I know I asked for a jet seed, but I always hope for some bunny shenanigans trying to find the moon pearl. So it's you win some, you lose some.
And we got a small key to Ganon's tower and half magic over on dataplet's side. Yeah, you might get the jet seed even jettier than you could have ever imagined.
There will be something. There will be something. I promise. There always is. All right, moon pearl, mirror, and sword. It is time to find a connector and walk through it. Just get that mirror in action as quickly as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a useless fairy at the Lost Woods drop. Which is a shame. That means there's something behind either Aga 1 or Aga 2.
Blue mail, that's always something. That's not something to kind of shake a stick at.
Yeah, with the mirror in hand, you're happy having mails. It doesn't make a tremendous amount of difference to these sorts of runners, but Zelda choosing not to follow Super Bunny Cave just yet. Presumably going to come over here, check the Lumberjack drop, and then go back and walk through Super Bunny. I lied. Uncle at Lumberjack is immediately accessible.
Oh, that is really nice.
So, we're down now to the unusual outs for needing to feed Aganim. There's still a couple of ways that Aga can be required, but they're Aga 1, that is. But they're corner cases. And with a mirror in hand, Paradox Cave just works. Unfortunately, Zelda hasn't managed to turn up any bombs yet. Checked the bush crowd, checked at least one tree pole, but we'll have to make a trip back there in a moment. Dataplet managed to get a bomb drop off a guard, I believe. Will presumably remember that there's a bomb shop in Paradox Cave and use their bomb to get 10 bombs. Cape in hand early is actually occasionally useful. There's enough dangerous rooms that can turn up early enough in cross keys that having the cape in hand is not irrelevant.
And I mean, if they find Spike Cave, it is something that opens up that option to them.
I think not quite yet, because they don't yet have enough. Zelda fails at the pushing blocks game. Try again.
That's not something you see failed very often.
No. Apparently did not spam the mirror hard enough. Did Dataplet not do Paradox, or did he do it so fast I didn't notice?
Don't think he did it.
Huh. That is an interesting choice. And by interesting, I mean I don't understand it. In this case. Hype Cave. We're getting all the good 5-item caves early.
Yeah, very item heavy for the start. Oh! Ooh!
Zelda showing off sweet chess turns there. Still showing off, even keeping the tournament. I mean, it's a one-frame trick for no benefit whatsoever.
Just a swag. That's all it is.
Man, hey, dataplet can win the roadblock again. Zelda peeked at the item on Spec Rock, but he did it so fast I didn't see it. So, dataplet will show it to us in a moment.
That happens way too often for me. I can't. My eyes do not register that quickly. They plop into a room and they move like 1 pixel and then just dart away.
It's a lot easier to look at the right pixel when you're the one driving the bus. Dataplet is abusing a chicken for reasons that don't bear explaining. It's like a map on Spectacle Rock. And Zelda choosing to follow the connector because he's run out of other things to do. So Hype Cave wasn't very hype. I mean, there's a bow, which is always nice to have, and the mushroom, which is kind of obnoxious given that they've already been over the witch's head.
It's obnoxious, but it's still another check. It's better than a rupee.
I think that's not true. If I never find the mushroom, I can never go check it. Whereas...
Yeah, okay, yeah, I get you there.
Like, I can't make the mistake of either going and doing it or not going and doing it if I don't have it.
Dataplet being kind to the viewers and had to double check that it was a map.
Zelda followed Spectacle Rock out and quite quickly found Thieves Town, which is a really nice find early on, and see if Dataplet follows him there. Looks like the answer is yes. Which meant that he could have put off the double checking what the map was for a moment, but oh well. I'm surprised that Zelda hasn't quick swapped to the mirror, but apparently this is somewhere terrible, and the mirror is not helpful. Oh yeah, it is. It's at Agina.
Yeah, not worth peeking in there yet.
Well, I mean, it's a long walk from Agina to anywhere of interest, given that they came out of the, I guess it's the storyteller in the vanilla game. They don't have a glove, so there's just nothing over there. Zelda has still failed to find any source of bombs, which is kind of remarkable. Apparently not killing enough guards.
It's kind of impressive for sure.
I thought we saw that cave already, but I must be misremembering. There's a couple of useless caves that look sort of the same at the beginning. A small key on the island, which is, again, uncertainty you'd rather not have. There's a lot of useless small keys. There's a few nice-to-have small keys, and then there's... I forget which way this sentence was going. Some of them are good and some of them aren't. Upper cave found. Left behind for now, but of course we can traverse that already. And Zelga's going to do it.
Go back in!
With the cape, early cape, you might as well follow this. You're happier to be in the dark world than the light world at this point. Because it might be somewhere cool, like right here.
And the back of Skull Woods.
We are doing well on finding dungeons. Dataplet with bombs already in hand is checking Paradox for us, so we'll see if there's anything cool here. Zelga's not going to leave this for too long. You don't leave some items just lying around on the map for longer than you have to. Yeah, they found all of the bits of Death Mountain already. The seed has been nice with connectors. The connectors in the seed have been good. And this is the Old Man Rescue Cave. It had to be up here somewhere. And with a sword in hand, heck, I can do this. So these guys can certainly do it. Early Mirror, early Moon Pearl. You know. And then some good light to dark connectors. The seed has been relatively pleasant to the runners.
Yeah, it's a really nice, clean start for sure with their mirror and their moon pearl, bow, sword. It's good.
Yeah, the only thing they're sort of missing out of the set of things you'd really like to turn up early is boots, but you can't have everything.
Yeah, we gotta make them work for something.
Zelga being way better at dodging cabbages than I am. I'm jealous.
Just a boomerang on top of the rock?
We'll see if Zelga bothers picking that up. It might pay. There we go. Apparently Zelga thinks that it pays the 3 seconds that it takes to pick it up to pick it up. And finally finds a source of bombs. Hello, restock room. Please can I have bombs? 15 minutes and 52 seconds into the seed with a sword, a bow, a moon pearl, and a mirror. ZelgaDissan finally gets to stick off bombs on his tracker, which feels a bit silly. Dataplet going and checking this leftmost cave in the light world is you have a mirror. You were just in the dark world. You're going to get back in the dark world eventually. Check this at the end. Don't fight those dead rocks. And ZelgaDissan finding another way into Paradox. And now properly equipped with L bombs can
taking advantage of the cape to make sure he doesn't take a death on the mountain.
Hey, I mentioned it might be useful. And with half magic, you know, with the extra spam that darn thing. Yeah, the connectors up here are pretty good, but they're not super great. So. Zelga choosing not to check the third exit quite yet, which I think is reasonable. He has one more drop to check. We'll see if he goes around to check the connector at the end. He looks like yes. So Dataplet is now walking to the left-hand side of Death Mountain and is going to hop down here. So right now is when you should check this entrance, because it's free. Which Zelga's about to do and make me look smart. So I'm sure that the runners know exactly which dark room that is from the hole that they fell in, but it's much easier for me to figure that out when I'm playing and not when I'm commentating. They both went zigzag and threw themselves in a pit, which I think is the diagonal one, but not sure. I think this is Zelda going up and across. Oh, no, this is the Paradox Cave connector check. We'll find out shortly takes you back to Kakariko, because hilariously, these guys never finished Kakariko. So now that we're here, well, what the heck? Do the stuff after Kakariko Village.
Tower of Hera, green pendant.
Chat pointing out quite correctly that zelgadissan looked high and low for bombs, and there was some Kakariko along the line. And in fact, there's also capacity fairy, which is, I think, one of the best things to find super early in the seed, where you have any decent weapons, just because 15 bombs is a lot more than 10 bombs. And effectively, they're, it's a pretty good price for bombs anyway. And then you also get to have 5 more for the rest of the time. Dataplet not doing this first Aga Tower room in the most stylish way possible, but eventually gets through it. For $20. A lot of work for $20. So what do you think so far, Liberal? Oh, and
I'm thinking this has been pretty clean. I mean, it's there's some odd connectors, but they've gotten access to a lot of the map really fast.
Yeah, the only major area we haven't found is Mire, which is the one you really want to find, because otherwise you have to find a whole bunch of crap to get in there. There's enough entrances that it'd be nice to not have to find. Dataplet going for not only bomb capacity, but also arrow capacity. And welcome Illis's stream. I hope Illis had fun playing games today. Welcome to Crossworld Keysanity Tournament. You might notice that the runners have a bunch of stuff. We're 20 minutes in, and they haven't finished Kakariko yet, because they got distracted by good connector. With the Moon Pearl and Mirror in hand early, they have been more than willing to dive connectors and have found some good Dark World spots. Zelga somehow missing like 2 or 3 times with his boomerang, which surprises me.
I'm not sure if that's going to be an omen for the rest of this.
And finding the castle, Zelga is off to go rescue Zelda. Up to minor details like Zelda not being there.
And this opens up a nice couple of connectors to be checking out for sure.
Yeah, so Zelga got to the part of the Dark World they're in following Desert Palace, which Dataplet chose not to do. Instead, actually finishing off his Kakariko sweep. I think that both of those choices are defensible, but I personally like the just follow connectors play with the sanctuary in Kakariko Village and the mirror in hand. There's a lot of upside to going to the Dark World, just for routing efficiency reasons.
Nothing too exciting the last little while. Hopefully this chest will show something.
Oh look, it's the big key to this dungeon.
And it did!
Something.
Yeah, that's a little something!
That counts. And Zelga is now going to show off his ability to get dark across the dark, which is, I mean, frankly, not that hard, but I'm not sure where dataplet is going. In particular, jumping down 2 ledges seems like a mistake. He's had mirror since the last time he was here. Oh, dataplet got up here from Paradox Cave. It hasn't checked upper cave yet. This is how Zelda got up to the mountain. And speaking of connectors, we find Bumper Ledge, one of the doors of the castle, which is one of the other awkward places to get to. Which doesn't hide anything particularly good at the moment, other than our first bottle. Zelda will presumably turn in the next time they're up the mountain.
Yeah, now that they have the knowledge of where Sick Kid is, that's definitely something they want to check.
Yeah. Is there anything else on Light World Death Mountain? Not. I mean, there's Skull Woods. I can see ZelgaDissan putting that off for some time, just because of lack of... It's a long walk for one check at this point.
Oh yeah, he has a lot more open to him still. He's going to keep looking for other connectors, try to get to Meyer, I'd say, before. It's going to be kind of a last check sort of thing, I suspect.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Skull Woods is up. The Skull Woods back is up there, so I would expect that he's going to try to hook those two up together. Dataplet turned up Hookshot Cave somewhere or other, and while cannot yet do hookshot things, does find Turtle Rock Bridge, which is we're really running out of awkward places to find.
And there's Swamp.
So mandatory traversal of Hookshot Cave. Well, assuming we need Swamp at some point.
And Zelda had just found a red meringue and a 300 rupee, so that was a nice bit of cash for him.
One more rupee for Zora! Not that they're going to Zora anytime soon, but, you know, one more rupee for Zora.
Yeah, it's nice just to have it so that you know you don't have to worry about finding the money.
Or so you can go shopping at the bomb shop.
Yeah, once we inevitably run out of bombs again.
They both have 15 in their pocket. It'd be all right. Interestingly, ZelgaDissan choosing not to steal the key from the back of desert, you rarely actually go and use it, but it's one of those things that a lot of people will pick up while they're there, just in case they want to go safe scum Desert Palace, especially given that Desert Palace is in Kakariko, unlike the glove dataplet got, which was not in Kakariko. That glove is the first, so the runners have sort of been a little bit divergent for a while now. That's the first real good item that dataplet's found that ZelgaDissan does not have. Of course, the hookshot is Zelga's advantage. Zelga does some good cross-keys optimized movement there. Hooking that bush would totally not be worth it if you had to get at the menu to get the bombs back out. But with quick-swap enabled, because cross-keys is hard enough without having to, or rather, takes long enough without having the advantage of quick-swap, you can do some cute tricks like that otherwise aren't actually fast. It's one of the things you can use to tell the people who've done a lot of cross keys is their efficient use of quick swap at all times in all places. Dataplet finding Tower of Hera at Light World Hype Cave. And with the big key in hand, I'd actually expect him to just clear this right now.
Andy just found a big key turtle rock. We're getting a good couple of keys now.
ZelgaDissan, assuming that they don't need to do Aga for complicated, stupid reasons, has now in his mind finished Aga Tower forever, which is kind of nice. Successfully traversed the dark maze in there, which is actually one of the harder dark rooms in the game. And having put off such Kakariko checks, Zelga is actually going to be able to mirror check like library and so on, which does not happen very often.
A bit of optimization for this one little section.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about how the mirror lets you more efficiently check things, and one of the arguments for putting off going to Kakariko is that sometimes you can turn up the mirror and double up these checks. It doesn't come up very often.
Holding the Master Sword in Big Chest.
That's one more reason not to do Aghanim 1. Swamp Palace map, one nice thing to know about. Someday, ZelgaDissan eventually checks their map. I expect that in about another half an hour. And the one thing the Master Sword does is make this Moldorm fight a lot easier. And unfortunately for dataplet, I mean, I knew this coming in because he's talked to Sahash for a while, but only the green pendant at the top of Tower of Hera.
At least he knew what he signed up for. It wasn't a surprise disappointment.
I mean, it doesn't take that long, and so while you're there, you might as well do it. Dataplet choosing to go turn into mushroom. This is a thing you see a lot of runners do just to avoid eventually stumbling into the potion shop somewhere stupid and having to then go all the way to the potion shop and then go all the way back to get your item. Ganon's Tower at Race Game Moleth. Which is a good find. There is a lot of stuff in here. Now, Zelga can't get any of it, but it's still nice to know where GT is, just so that when you do turn up a hammer and a hookshot, or a cane and a fire source. You can come back here and get a bunch of stuff. Peeks and sees a small key on the torch, which is more uncertainty than you'd like. Dataplet using his glove check Kekrika well.
Oh, he didn't take the peek at race game. He just ran through race game.
Yeah, because he hasn't been to Kakariko yet. So, heck, you know.
Yeah, might as well.
You know, given you're gonna mirror at race game left to check that entrance anyway, I feel like the 18 seconds or whatever to just go do it is reasonable. And digs up a lamp at the big game.
And there's a bit of a fire force. Yeah, day game is good. Bit of a fire source. And now we get to see what's in Cave 45.
The exit of Spiral Cave, which I guess saves you walking out of there later. Oh, and he's even got the shovel before he gets over here. That being said, Zelga is going to leave behind a few glove checks here and there, which is going to annoy him, I'm sure, when he finds the glove. Dataplet, I think, just portaled over to water portaled over to the ice rod area, which is a cute trick.
And this is a nice couple of checks from... Oh, here we are at the dam.
Yeah. Getting this done before you ever walk past the dam. Also, you know, like, these guys are doing a good job of exploiting their early mirror to put off the places that could be better later, I guess is the way I would phrase that. Hope that they don't have to do the smith chain today, or at least they get the flute beforehand. Because smiths at Ice Rod area is a heck of a walk. So, Tenorin, that's a good question whose answer is more complicated than you think it is. It turns out that if you use your mirror whilst pushing a block in a cave, it disappears. So that's what you're seeing going on there. Do not try this in a dungeon, you will be sad. It is one of the more bizarre glitches in the game, and I have no idea what's going on that one. Zelga is busy showing off a much more flashy glitch, which is that if you set this up just right, which I think you did not, nope, you get just far enough into this pot, you can use your hook shot to fall down the pot, which is supposed to take you from upstairs somewhere to the fairy room, but now takes you from the ground floor to the fairy room, and then back upstairs, skipping like 2 floors of the dungeon. There we go. And you have to remember to look left before you use your hook before you walk up, otherwise badness. So as chat, and by chat I mean our trackers and Restreamer are pointing out helpfully in chat, Swamp being a crystal means we hard need the hookshot, so that we'll have to go rescue Zelda's empty cell at some point, and as well as the flippers. which just adds slightly to our list of crap that we need, as well as that obnoxious Swamp Palace small key. And they have seen at least a couple of keys scattered around the world, hard to find.
Yeah, keys on Hylia Island, and there was one on the torch in Ganon's Tower.
And I believe there was another one on the Torch Desert, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah, there's a bunch of small keys just sort of hanging around. If in the event that an hour from now they're like, God damn it, I still can't get to the swamp.
And Zelga didn't get to the dam first, so he doesn't get to do that check.
But it does get to find out swamp and ice are required to dam. I don't think we've seen this middle exit from desert yet. Oh no, we did. I have it mismarked as the right one.
Yeah.
zelgadissan indecisively choosing to follow this connector rather than go over to Ice-Rod area. I believe dataplet made the opposite choice.
dataplet did follow it after, though.
Okay. Zelga, without the glove yet, gets stuck at Desert Back there, but it's still a good thing to know about, even if you aren't super excited about following it again, just because that gives you access to the desert ledge as well as that one entrance there. I wouldn't be surprised if, when Zelga gets a chance, he doesn't check what's on desert ledge. I don't really know when that chance is going to come up, but
yeah, I think that might be a while before that one shows up.
Zelda coming back and grabbing their mirror portal before heading, continuing their route. In the Dark World. I wonder if that's the right place to leave that mirror portal. The optimization on exactly where you should drop the portals and how dedicated you should be about switching back and forth to, paying the transition cost of mirroring versus not putting your mirror portals down in the most convenient possible locations is some optimization that doesn't always come up in the most obvious way. zelgadissan now setting up slash delete fix flippers, except screwing it up. So,
not wasting any more bombs.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that, but there might be some non-obvious reason, or non-obvious to me reason, yeah, I don't know where you're going, that retrying wouldn't just work there. He had enough bombs that I think he could have gotten away with one more try. I think it was our first check of the Man House, which is on top of the castle, which is a generally not that great spot, except that it's a long walk over here, and so it's kind of nice to get it out of the way. Oh, is he out of arrows? Jeez.
And we have Spiral Cave.
Illis, is it always 3 arrows? Or I thought it was 2 arrows with some collections of stuff. Which is obviously not the stuff that he has, but there's Bombos, which gets us into Ice Palace if and when we turn it up. We still can't get very far in there, but Of the medallions, it's the one most interesting to see. And
Yeah, we don't have knowledge of either of the other two.
ZelgaDissan choosing to walk all the way back to Kakariko. Checks, presumably desert? Seems like an awfully long walk given that Sanctuary is here. And I got distracted by dataplet finding Pawn, but with bow in hand, even with only 2 keys, can get quite a few checks out of here. Dataplet choosing to spend a key on the front door, which, seems useful. Going all the way through the bow side a bunch of times is not a lot of fun. That being said, if you're going to throw yourself in that pit to check that chest, I'm kind of surprised you wouldn't do that before traversing the bow side. But minor nitpick right there. Aha, there's the swamp.
There is the Swamp Palace! And now we got that, so that's something that's a big relief where Swamp is required.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many of all the keys in the game. That's the most important small key, I would say. Both practically
Yeah, when you
and
have that as required, it's just where it's the only one. You need to know where it is, and getting it without having to go hunt for it is very nice.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of pod keys out there, and you need a bunch of them, but any particular one is not super mission critical.
And there's Zelda picking up his gloves.
And turning in his empty bottle to the fairy to fill up with nothing. Thanks, fairy. You're very helpful. I mean, I doubt Zelda was going to use the good bee for anything particularly interesting either, so trying to get a free potion refill is there's totally the right play there, but kind of mean of the fairy to not bother actually being helpful.
Well, I mean, you just got 2 free items off of her.
That's fair. Sitting in her front room. All those bomb shops that ZelgaDissan was really looking for early in the game are now turning up.
And Data found Eastern Palace.
For those who missed it, Zelga had a sword, a mirror, a moon pearl, a bow, and a sort of other junk before they found the first bomb. So, and apparently forgot to find Kiki. Oopsies.
Not really excited to go get ripped off today.
Man, this door could be important. Nope. Not important.
More often than not, it's not important.
Yeah, but you can't leave it behind. And frankly, what else can you use the money on? Like, one of the sort of bizarre things about this game is, super early you're super excited about rupees, and then very rapidly diminishing returns kicks in. Zelga finds Hookshot Cave with a hookshot, which is a nice trick. Ooh!
Hammer!
which gets Zelda full, or like conventional Dark World access, which is not going to be as good this game because there's a bunch of good connectors, but you know, it's nice to have.
And dataplet just picked up the big key to pod, so that might be something he's thinking about. And Checkerboard Cave holding another small pod key.
There's lots to choose from. And they actually all do something useful too, unlike, I guess, except the last one. But, you know, like the Misery Mire keys turn up and you're like, well, thanks.
Or like the second ice key.
Speaking of pod smalls, I think that was another one on dataplet's side.
Yes, it was.
Oh, and turns out I'm wrong. zelgadissan is off to go through the Dark World portal. Apparently the best available connector is not good enough. Is not better than this portal, so I would expect to see an immediate trip to Skullwoods after this.
Yeah, he's heading back. And it's Skullwoods.
What a surprise! I talked to A about why these drops weren't shoveled, and he's like, "Yeah, that would be a dick move."
Yeah.
So they do in if you turn on Insanity Shuffle, which is for those that are insane, these drops are shuffled. Otherwise, they're only shuffled amongst themselves.
That's really nice of them.
And the logic would also be a bit dubious, right? Because the entrances aren't one-to-one with the drops, and again for the same reason, the drops and the corresponding entrance are linked, basically just for politeness from the entrance rando devs.
Mm-hmm. And while we were talking about Skullwoods, we completely missed the Armos fight and the collection of our first crystal this match.
Yeah, I guess I should talk about Armos night fights, but they have a bow. Like, just 12 seconds.
Oh, it was so fast, yeah.
Like he spent way longer killing the Igor 2 rooms earlier than he did killing Armos. And the bigger news is the Cane of Samaria from Eastern Palace, which makes this Skullwoods front room way better.
Oh yeah, you're not spending 2 minutes dragging a statue and killing mobs.
At least they're well kitted out, so at least it's not Death Skullwoods room, but that room is just so obnoxious between the Gibdos and the Wallmaster. On the other hand, dataplet meets Mr. Firebar and then Mr. Pitt.
And thank you to Sarix for correcting us on where the Cane of Samaria was.
I apologize.
It's late for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. And now that zelgadissan has his glove, I expect to see him covering off these sort of north light world or north overworld glove checks, light and dark. Hey, Norinato's been going nuts with the gift subs tonight. So everybody that has gotten a gift sub from Norinato, you should thank her because she's single-handedly keeping this show on the air. It feels like so. I think that's 3 or 4 tonight. All the rest of you are allowed to sub too, and make Norinato not pay for all the bills or anything. I don't actually know what our bills are, but. Dataplet also taking the long and slow walk through Spiral for, if I recall correctly, some disappointment.
Oh yeah, it's a big old cave of disappointment. Well, I guess Bombos, yeah.
Yeah, so Bombos might actually be useful. Especially the longer the fire rod doesn't end up, the more useful it is. Because it's the key to Ice Palace if absent the fire rod. So it might yet prove to be the case to be entirely required to walk through there.
They've picked up a few maps, but no map checks yet.
Yeah, it's the general rule of thumb for cross keys runners is to check your map when it actually will affect the decisions that you make, and I don't think that sort of hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, they're still doing overworld checks, and they're doing like dips into stuff that they can access anyway.
Well, and beating Armos is worth it just for the item, right? Never mind whether it's crystal or not. So.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick one to get to.
Big key ice on Zelga's side, which is not one of the really interesting big keys to find, but it's a fetch quest and potentially saves a little bit of time routing Ice Palace if Ganon Smaria gets found before he gets in there. The channel just told me I had to say hello to Biscuits, and that's such a fun name to say that I'm going to actually do it. Curse you, Twitch Automata. But welcome for Biscuits. The Pot Dark Room turns out the Thieves Town Big Key, which is still out of logic by a lot, but, nice to have.
And a net for, just for fun.
zelgadissan doesn't have anything in their bottle at the moment. They can always stuff a fairy in there if times got tough. I don't think they're going to, but there's a non-zero chance, I guess. Maybe.
You can only hope.
And we have heard the mirror sound a lot of times this game.
And Data has just found his Kiki. He did not miss the monkey.
That sounds delightfully naughty. Now that I've broken Blibberl, hey, there's that Ganon Smaria that somebody promised me was in Gagariko Well.
Yeah, we won't forget it now.
Cyberchow rightly pointing out that the dataplet absolutely could have gotten to the back of Pod with keys in hand if he chose not to walk through the front door. but chose not to, which, you know, you're leaving behind some items, but it saves you walking through the bow side twice, which...
And now he has the big key, so if he does end up going back, it will help him kind of route everything in there.
Yeah, I mean, zelgadissan has done the opposite thing, which is leave behind the big chest item.
It's these routing choices that can make or break you at the end.
I mean, there's no way Zelga's not doing hammer yump and doing the dark room there, I think. But no runner expects to go into pod once, I think, in a cross keys race. It only happens if it turns up super, super late, or yeah, basically it only happens if pod doesn't turn up until super, super late, just because it's full of stuff that is relatively fast to get to.
Yeah,
that's true.
As soon as they see it, they'll dip.
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, just for you. And now our tracker is frantically filling stuff in. Which reminds me to thank the trackers, because we're an hour in. So, Seiryu and Late Bit are our trackers tonight. Sorry, Seiryu X. There's a funny story about that you should ask him. I think. Are tracking tonight, and they're doing a good job. Keeping us on the straight and narrow. And remembering stuff.
And thank you, SeiryuX, for typing in all those commands. And we got silvers!
Silvers on the pyramid is a nice thing to find. There's a fair chance zelgadissan does not get there for a long time. He's already checked the top of the castle from the old man save and quit, and walking all the way over there just to get one item is a bit of a walk.
Yeah, that might be something he'll avoid doing for a while, maybe even until if he comes to a point where he wants to check Big Bomb.
Bomb Shop was somewhere less horrible than usual, right? I missed it. Was it like Dam or something?
Yes. Yes? Yes, I think so. There was a shop there.
It was either Dam or Smile, but to that general vicinity. Speaking of pod smalls, Catfish has another one. Dataplet has now somewhat awkwardly gotten all the way up here with 446 rupees after we discussed a while ago, oh, they have lots of money. Dataplet also chose to buy arrow capacity upgrade, which got
that was a bit of a money sink there.
But just like, nope. You sort of assume...
and now we can take a moment to watch Armos quickly disappear.
Yeah,
there you
go. Definitely a moment. No extended drama in Armosville. This is the third time that Dataplet has had trouble with Fig Flipper, or been slow about it at least. Feel bad. On the other hand, setting this up nice, so you come out of this portal going to the right, should give you enough iframes to the ladder before the little bomber guy gets you. Something I learned from chat a couple of races ago, so thank you, chat.
Oh, that was really nice. And we have found Spike Cave.
Having found another pod small and the pod big, is back for 2 more items.
I mean, might as well, since it's accessible. Oh, and after thinking about it, gone back into Spike Cave.
You might as well, I think, is the reasoning there.
With the cape and half magic, really
with the cape
easy.
and half magic, and it being in a terrible spot.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and I was busy watching Spike Cave while zelgadissan got a flute out of Harmless Hellway, which is behind all of the small keys in Pod, which is presumably why they're all turning up now. And the flute is nice to have. I'm gonna make that trip to, for instance, Ice Rod area, which I believe Zelda hasn't been to at all yet. Much more quick. It looks like I'm gonna go visit Mr. Helmasaur King and put an end to his evil oppression of darkness or whatever. I'm not actually clear to me what the bosses in the Link to the Past have actually done wrong. Besides just sort of hang out.
Yeah, they don't like you storming into their palaces.
Yeah, like I feel like Thieves Town. I guess blind is is a thief, but and so that apparently deserves capital punishment in Hyrule. But it's not clear to me what the rest of these monsters have done wrong, besides sort of being ugly. It's not clear to me that they're knowing accomplices, Great Auntie Bob. Maybe Ganon just hid stuff behind them somewhere.
And there's Bombos becoming useful.
Yeah, dataplet has all the things you'd like, except for a small key to do Ice Palace. The lack of small key means that the writing is a little bit more awkward, but. What you call a white panel van, I call an ice cream truck. Alright, that's enough. What is Zelda's character sprite is a good question. I knew the answer to this question at some point, but do not at the moment. I'm sorry. There we go. Chat knows everything. Nice. That was a quite smooth icebreaker by dataplet. I'm not quite sure what the pause was with underneath the block, but apparently it all worked out. zelgadissan back to play a pretty song, which you guys don't get to hear. Because he's using Danganronpa music, which apparently makes some viewers sad. So, sorry.
But we still pay our respects. A silent salute.
Presumably dataplet will turn up that food sooner or later, and we can hear it then.
Yeah, he'll definitely be going back into Pod, so he'll check it, I'm sure.
You know, he said, oh, maybe traversing spiral cable will turn out to be necessary. It turned out to be necessary. That was Fire Rod in Ice Palace. Which is not very nice.
Well, at least Ice Palace is required. So it is something that they have to look at eventually.
Thieves Town small key, nice to find for before doing Thieves Town, but not any of the really cool stuff that we're still looking for. What really cool stuff are we still looking for? So we have a 1 in 3 chance of needing to do Turtle Rock. Sorry, a 2 in 3 chance of needing to do Turtle Rock. So we have a 2 in 3 chance of needing an Ice Run. We still hard need the flippers. And then Desert Big. That's it. Huh. And Desert Big again, only if we actually need to defeat Landmolas. So we're pretty close to having all the stuff we want. Right, but if we get super lucky, we might just not find Turtle Rock. Seems unlikely, but yeah. And not need to, I guess is the...
And just 50 rupees on Cold Stare, but another crystal.
Yeah, we're starting to get into the part of the seed where, you know, actually just beating the game becomes a relevant thing to worry about. Dataplet walking through Village of Outcasts and sees that he hasn't bombed open this hut yet. He's like, oh, maybe I should go check that out. Nah, never mind. It was just a curiosity shop. That's the second castle powered key, but I think there is no way that can be necessary. Has Dataplet not done a south sweep yet? He hasn't. That's presumably the next thing on Dataplet's to-do list, is to do an overworld sweep down here. Uncle was at Lumberjack Cyberchow, but we think there is a one-item cave behind Ag 2. Assuming that we haven't failed at tracking. Seiryu, yes, that is a thing that we have said, and I believe you. I just remember an earlier race that I commentated where trackers and commentators were all perfectly convinced that the well was there, and it turns out that it was useless fairy or something. Dataplet? Just need to go left first. Dataplet, having not found Ganon's Tower much later in the seed in zelgadissan, has gotten here with all of the stuff necessary to totally clear this place out. So I expect to see basically a full clear of GT basement here from Data.
Yeah, this will be a nice kind of clean sweep for him.
And with, you know, as many items as there are in GT Basement, you kind of expect to turn up something useful. speaking of things that are useful, boots, probably not strictly required, depending on what the various torches are, but nice to have.
We got the boots. That's nice.
ZelgaDissan is going to get them not very far behind dataplet. So that's a shock for dataplet. But
I mean, it's nice to say he got it first.
That's true. You know, there's moral superiority there, but he also got it in an inconvenient place for actually using his boots. I don't think he's gotten dash once yet. 2D tones, yes. This is, well, almost yes. This is Crossworld Keysanity, and the Keysanity means that the keys in the game, all of the keys in the game, big and small, are shuffled anywhere in the game, that you can logically get to them before you use them. And so, for instance, this is in a mirror-locked location, and so that key couldn't block whatever you would need to get to the mirror. Now we can put our boots to use. Bonk. Get across that gap. Alright. Now we get to see...
now we have... Yep.
Sorry, the very difficult Ice Armos fight. How do you think this is going to go?
Oh, so bad. Oh, missed.
He actually did screw this up.
Yeah.
He jinxed it.
It now took 7 seconds instead of 5.
I mean, it still feels bad.
Oh, I'm gonna grill him for that one.
I will admit that there's a fair chance he hasn't practiced Ice Armos with Silver's Ice Armos that many times, so...
Not used to it being that easy.
Yeah.
And because of Keysanity being what it is, you always have to do tall room.
I mean, that's more a Crossworld thing than a Keysanity thing. I think. Just because... So, there's a couple reasons for that. One, Ganon's Tower isn't locked behind damn near everything in the game. And two, there's no junk fill in Entrance Rando. So in regular item Rando, Ganon's Tower actually has a bunch of crap put in it before any of the rest of the items are placed, which sort of reduces the effective number of locations in GT by about, I think it's 10, might be 15, it depends on the difficulty settings. And that's just not true in Entrance Rando. These are all sort of genuine locations, which makes tile room just like a thing that everybody does, rather than a funny meme, haha.
Oh, we got our first Desert Palace small.
Looks like
there.
Right side GT hard required for both flips and Desert Big. Yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily need the Desert Big, but the flips are there.
Well, this is beneficial, I gotta say. The GT dive was worth it.
dataplet did make the unsurprising but still unfortunate mistake of leaving without getting the small key off the torch. When you get the boots left side GT, it is real easy to forget to go back and check the torch again.
Oh, Turtle Rock is a crystal. So now that begs the question of where is Ice Rod?
Also, where's Turtle Rock?
Yeah, that's also important, I guess.
Of all of the dungeons to be missing, Turtle Rock is, like, sometimes you're like, oh, why can't I find the Laser Bridge entrance? It'd be so much easier, but then actually I have to walk through Turtle Rock. They haven't found any of them. I mean, there's the ZelgaDissan has a bunch of entrances left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By my count, ZelgaDissan has 14 entrances left unmarked on his tracker, of which 4 are Turtle Rock. Seems unlikely.
Oh, here's another connector.
The least interesting place to get spat out in the mire area.
Yeah, not very useful.
But now we can bash our head again and check some more bonk rocks.
Oops!
The perils of mirroring exactly one bonk away from...
And there's our book.
That extraordinarily useful Ice Palace small key that they're definitely going to go use.
Oh yes, of course. And Zelga is rescuing the maiden. Oops.
Blind doesn't take any damage from falling down the pit. It's, if you were rescuing a fair maiden and you threw her down a pit, I think most of them would complain, but not Blind.
We don't have his audio on, so it's fine. Just some money.
Crystal number 4. We have Swamp Small, we have the Flippers, we have Hookshot. Is that next on ZelgaDissan's to-do list? I mean, other than picking up this rock. Yeah, not only were silvers on Pyramid Ledge, as Chad is helpfully pointing out, Old Man's house is on top of the castle, and so ZelgaDissan has done all the entrances in that area, and so other than the pyramid itself, which might be where Turtle Rock is, to be honest. And so has less incentive to go back and actually check the pyramid. Well, an ice rod and finding TR, and then maybe finding some more TR smalls, depending on which part of ice rod cave he finds. There's
And there are our mittens under the bridge.
That's a check that there's some non-zero chance that Turtle Rock is all 4 entrances are mid-locked. That would be excitingly dumb, but possible.
Would be a dirty seed for that.
Yeah. There's one. It's still mid-locked, but it's not mid-locked in the mire area. This is one of the good ones to find too.
Yeah, this is nice. This is a nice way in.
I actually expect dataplet to make his way down to Laser Bridge from here with 2 keys. You have the fire rod, dataplet. That was interesting. Not sure why dataplet didn't use the fire rod there. Like, yeah, he's a little bit low on magic, but this is Turtle Rock, and there's magic all over the place.
There's magic all over the place, and he has half magic, but he just didn't want to.
I mean, I assume that it's a memory or just XE. Remembering all the stuff you have when you never look at your menu because it's cross keys is a thing. But it's still kind of silly. And ZelgaDissan making the same choice that dataplet did earlier upon finding Spike Cave, which is, well, what the heck, it's way out of the way, let's go do it.
And the blue potion is welcome.
Yeah, and then there'll be some sweet spin speed back out of Spike Cave here in a second. I thought that was a dark cave they found earlier, so when they were still dark. And an hour and 30 minutes, ZelgaDissan finally gets to the ice rod area. He gets nothing useful here, but still funny. Oh, there's the dam.
And another blue potion.
Ugh. So ZelgaDissan can now, in principle, go beat Swamp Palace. But Swamp Palace is in kind of a dumb spot, so we'll see if he's willing to venture back up to the mountain just to go beat Swamp Palace. I think the answer is yes, because I'm pretty sure this is a connector up to the mountain. Yep.
I'm not sure. Did Zelda check Sick Kid yet?
No. It's on the wrong side of the mountain. But Turns out that having found the dam, zelgadissan is off to Swamp Palace. So, in classic Ice Rod Hand fashion, we're down to hunting for an Ice Rod. And today, the Ice Roll of Ice Rod will be played by the main actress, Ice Rod, and not by one of her many understudies.
Fire Rod, Cane of Burna.
Many big teeth. Knowing how the vanilla game works is strictly optional, but there's some rooms. You need some stuff to get through some of them. In the randomizer, in this particular version of the randomizer, none of the things are where they're supposed to be. None of the stuff is where it's supposed to be, and so it's a puzzle to try to find it all. And when you finish beating that puzzle, then you get to run to boss kill.
Dataplet had quite some time trying to beat that.
It was not the cleanest land rollers fight, and all for a red pendant.
A pendant.
Which means that Zelga won his coin flip and beat Blind, while Dataplet lost his coin flip and beat Lanmo. Like, darn. I think this is Dataplet also heading to Swamp eventually, but I'm going to stop in and talk to Sick Kid first. Who...
Get the knowledge that he... Okay, that's the appropriate response.
Dataplet is very expressive with his in-game emotes. Let's just put it like that.
He had the bombs to burn, and killing a sick child was the choices he made.
A little bit of rage bombing, might cost him a few seconds, but if it, reinforces his psychology, might be worth it.
That was a quick boss fight. That's nice.
Yeah, Dactyl Skullwoods is not very hard at this point in the game.
Oh, definitely not, with everything that they have.
I mean, the part of Skullwoods that takes a while is the other pit, which is somewhere else. Especially with the key in hand, you don't have to deal with that room. Like, done. I've seen zelgadissan leave behind Left Side Swamp in a couple of rounds now. I don't really know why. Especially with Diver Down making the whole process faster. Nowadays. It might actually be faster to get there this way than from left side of the mountain. Also it's on Mimic Cave. But I mean, frankly, that's a pretty fast way to get there. Even if it wasn't Mimic Cave, even if it was the other side, the drop on the other side.
Checking the tablet and big key to swamp.
Dataplet check that before he hit Swamp Palace. Answer, I think, is surely not. Zelda getting Dead Rock there and giving up on checking the Turtle Rock pendant, which is, I think, totally reasonable. Especially considering that he's about to find a fast way into Turtle Rock. So there's a runaround before we get there, I think.
Yeah, doing a couple other checks first.
We gotta get into the Dark World obnoxiously. Despite the fact that he's just run past King's Tomb and knows it. There's not actually a good way to... he doesn't yet have the mitts, and so he can't just get into King's Tomb the fast way. Remembering that he has access here, so it'd be real good for dataplet if the Ice Rock was here.
Here we are. Hello.
Not mitts-locked. Not even sort of mitts-locked. They've had that book for a while. Gotta ask the nice people that run Turtle Rock to let you in. Please, gods of Hylia, let me go get shot at in above endless pits.
Big key to Ganon. Ooh.
We could yet be going and visiting the Lumberjacks. That's another rabbit hole for dataplet to fall down, which I think is a totally reasonable play at some point here. And if it pays off, that's great for dataplet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not.
No big key.
With all of the stuff for Desert in hand, ZelgaDissan is in here looking for toys. I think, well, according to the Amazing Emperor's Rule of Hearts, Zelga should be slightly ahead because he has, on total checks, because he has more hearts. Given that a roughly constant proportion of the stuff that you find is hearts. and that's my subjective impression as well. That being said, the runners have different enough stuff and have divergent enough. There's every chance. There's Zelda has scratched more lottery tickets, has fewer things left to check, but there's a fairly substantial chance that dataplet finds the only thing that actually matters before Zelda does. Is that a reasonable?
Zelda is. I'm trying to think now because Zelda doesn't need the mitts now. He has another way in.
Well, too bad. Here's the mitts.
Yeah. But he didn't get that GT big key, did he?
Nope. So, basically, if that GT big key pays off for dataplet, it's good for dataplet. Otherwise, the Zelga's ahead. Right, like, that's another 5 scratchy tickets for dataplet. Maybe 6. 4 checks upstairs, plus big key chest, plus the lumberjack.
Yeah. So that might be, it might be useful for him, or it might be a rabbit hole.
I guess there's more stuff in here, and this actually unlocks the pedestal as well, but dataplet doing the default sanity routing of going straight left, because you always have a key before you come in here. Oh wait. Yeah, it's an interesting choice to dataplet's in Misery Mire right now.
And there are many Moldorums in Mire.
And for instance, this being out there makes checking entrances better, but dataplet never did find the flute in the back of Pod, and so he doesn't have access to the Misery Mire area.
He did find 2 Turtle Rock keys in Canaberna, so nothing too drastic.
I mean, no, those Turtle Rock keys are huge, because that means zelgadissan does not need any more to find more entrances to Turtle Rock. He can do this the old-fashioned way. This is not something you get to do in entrance rando. By get to, I mean have to do very often in entrance rando, is actually just like walk through Turtle Rock. But I think it's the right play for Zelda to be making here, right? Like,
well, since he got them both right away, yeah.
He doesn't know where the rest of Turtle Rock's entrances are. He's got all the keys. It's right here. Like, fuck it. Also, there's a pretty substantial chance that, well, one, this will tell him where the other entrances are. But there's also, in his mind, a substantial chance that the guy's just in here somewhere. But one of the sort of cute things that you can do in entrance rando with these sort of more awkward dungeon entrances is just walk to them, walk out of them, and then remember where they are. I mean, the unchecked locations on Zelga's tracker are like are few and far between. Let's put it that way. Waterfall Ferry is, I guess, the like of all the places that they haven't checked, the one that's the most accessible.
I don't recall if either of them checked Catfish yet, either.
dataplet did Catfish. It was a potfall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But he was too broke at the time to do Zora and did not have the flippers yet, and so didn't check Waterfall. Didn't even try to Ancilla delete, which surprised me a little bit. And didn't bother walking up to see it was on the ledge. Seemed like a long walk. I assume that dataplet started walking in the direction with like 450 rupees, and made 4 or 5 checks on the way and killed a bunch of enemies, and just never got the last 50 rupees to go to Zora, which is kind of obnoxious, but happens.
Well, dataplet is heading into Mire, so he might get himself lined up for a ped pull if he has to.
Dataplet's the sort of meme guy that I think is definitely going to go pull the pedestal after he does this. zelgadissan, that argument with the Helmosaur definitely resulted in a draw. Good to know that this is where the laser bridge entrance is when he eventually does dig up the ice rod. Just the fastest way to boss. Zelga would still like to find the big chest entrance to Turtle Rock in order to cash in the big key in his mind. I'm pretty sure we know it's not any interest, but
Yep, just 3 bombs.
And remembering to check this connector while he's here. That bonk across the rail is super easy if you haven't seen it before. So, line yourself up on the left-hand side and boop.
So all pendants have been acquired by dataplet. Let's see if he pulls the meme.
Yeah. Has dataplet not checked these bottom entrances yet? Apparently not. I think never checked the Hyrule Castle connectors.
Right into Dark Cross, let's see.
Casual Dark Cross check at an hour and 46 minutes into the seat.
Yeah, just for fun of it, you know.
I have definitely lost track of if there are good caves left. For instance, if going and getting the pyramid open, getting the bomb to get the pyramid open is worthwhile at this point. Is not. My map tracker doesn't basically have. I don't have enough of the information on there to tell you if that's the case. I don't think we've seen Blind's Hut? Question mark?
No, we haven't seen Blind's Hut.
That's, a weak argument for checking more entrances, but, this is just 8 checks right here, so might as well. Where is Thieves' Tuck? Yes, it's in pod along with the flute. Dataplet dipped pod with 2 keys, and Zelga dipped it with 3 keys, and so Zelga came out of there. Maybe it was 4 eventually. Came out of there having beat the boss and having checked the Dark Maze. which has limited dataplets options somewhat, because the lack of flute has, for instance, made him unable to check minor areas. Though, Zelda's only really fluted like half a dozen times.
Yeah, the movement in here hasn't really needed that much of a flute.
I feel like when you get the flute relatively late in the game, especially if you've already done a whole bunch of sort of mirroring back and forth type checks, it's just not that much that it could. You just can't save you that much movement. Like, he's fluted back to the witch's hut to drop off his mushroom and that sort of thing, but.
Yeah, especially like because you know a lot of the connectors already. You don't really have to skip because you don't know the easiest way there.
Yeah, zelgadissan's map tracker has, I think, 6 connectors marked on it in big, bright, bold green lines, connecting light and dark world. So, just lots of fast movement from hither to yon.
Another small key on Zora's Ledge.
Didn't get it. There are setups where you can do spooky action glitch, which is already kind of fucked up, but involves pre-dungeon shenanigans in the usual setups. There are ways to set it up inside the dungeon as well, which Zelda tried and obviously didn't quite get it right, and so had to go and split the switches the old-fashioned way. I sort of understand what's going on, but not well enough to try to explain it on commentary. I'm sorry, but that's what happened there.
Yeah, the hair small is a little disappointing to see.
Is it just as simple as throwing a block into the pit, or is there shenanigans incoherent? I understood there was more business after that.
There has been no ped check yet, but now with all of the pendants over on Dataplet's side, he may very well just go and pull it.
Okay. So that's... Incoherent answer to exactly how spooky works with is slightly more coherent than my explanation, but only slightly. And zelgadissan is off to go check Pyramid, while dataplet is doing chat's favorite thing.
Everybody hopes for the ped seed. Will this be the ped seed?
I think I had 3 races in a row where at least one runner pulled the pedestal, so.
Icky! Two Eyes Palace!
Zelda bringing this red bomb through much peril to opening
And
up
grabbing
pyramid.
his silver arrows.
And here is Blind's hut inside the pyramid. Much better hideout than the usual plan of building in town. Hearts.
Bombs. And more hearts.
Well, those 2.5 hearts are definitely going to make all the difference. To red mail zelgadissan. Dataplet making the one of the other optional plays, which is Smiths. You get to go on a bit of a world tour.
This will be fun. Nice little scenic route we're taking today with no flute.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised Dataplet hasn't gone back to pod. With 5 keys and the big key in hand. He left a lot of items in there. Seems a curious choice. There's some non-zero chance that the Ice Rod is still in. Did ZelgaDissan not check this when he was here? Weird. Had water walk set up. Is in the remaining few chests in pod that Zelga hasn't done yet as well, which would be poggers. Hey, the Smiths are actually doing, thematically appropriate work today.
But not the kind of work we want to see done.
Yeah, you gotta work hard to get that mirror shine on it. So at this point, both runners have actually done a whole bunch of checks the other one hasn't done. 19 hearts, Jimmy. And so there's
this might be a 20 heart seed.
Have they left one behind anywhere? Don't think so. Yeah. We might get to all 20. Yeah, so the sort of update is that Dataplet has pulled the pedestal and done the Smith chain, or done the first half of the Smith chain. And did left side swamp to get the G2 big key. ZelgaDissan has done the pyramid for Blind's hut and assorted other things that the Dataplet hasn't done. Has left a few checks in pod, but less than Dataplet. Dataplet needs to go back to pod to get Thieves Town big key and the flute. The flute not hard required, because I think there was nothing actually of particular interest in the Mire area.
Purple chest may very well be the answer he's hoping for.
I'm still frankly kind of baffled why Dataplet hasn't gone back to pod. He can get all the items.
No.
He can beat the crystal dungeon. I don't have any good reason for him not to be doing it. So.
Hopefully we see it soon.
Like, I feel like Pod's gotta be better than doing the second check-in here. Like, ugh. Pod was nowhere particularly terrible, I don't believe. Bumper lower. I mean, forgetting where it was is a reason not to go back there, but it's also a reason to go looking for it. You definitely got to beat it. And dataplet has a map tracker open on screen, so if he's forgotten where to mark Pod, he should feel bad. Seiryu, once again, every hour on the hour, reminding us that we have volunteers and we're all doing a great job. And also the runners, if you think they're doing a great job, you can watch them and or follow them and or subscribe, apparently, to the links that have been displayed on screen. Here's another ped check for y'all. Merry Christmas. I find it interesting that Zelda's not going here via Skullwoods, just because he hasn't checked the back entrance to Skullwoods either. He might be out of interesting entrances to find. Again, I haven't ticked off every item cave that they found during the siege because I cannot keep that up for 2 runners. So it might be the case that there cannot possibly be anything interesting back there, but otherwise it's sort of an interesting play to leave it behind. Zelda going back to left side swamp on the left-hand side of your stream, and dataplet finally doing Pod.
Oh, thank goodness. I've been sitting here waiting. I was also eating, so I apologize I went quiet for a moment. But I've been sitting here waiting, just begging him to go to Pod.
So, Zelda has not checked this chest. Nothing interesting. Alright. So they're rehashing mistakes, but that's not the right way to think about it, right? They should be doing the thing most likely to pay off. Or the thing most likely to pay off that would cause them to win the game. And, density, where the seed leads you, etc., are the right things to do, even if they don't actually have the ice rod.
Oh, finally he got his net. Thank God.
Hey man. Maybe someday we'll want to put a fairy in a bottle.
I don't think I have seen that at all this tournament from any of the ones that I've watched.
There was a fairly jet seed where someone netted a fairy and then died again and used their fairy and won the seed. So it happens, if not especially often.
Oh, it's definitely not useless, but the amount of times that people actually look at the net and say, "Oh, thank goodness, I have the net."
Okay. So I think Zelda is basically out of things to do that aren't GT. So we will see him go there shortly. So chat rightly pointing out that dataplet used the key for no reason, which skips the flute. And so now he needs to find the 6th pod key to get the flute to go waste a bunch of time in the mire area. So...
Not the biggest loss, but it might be something that he'll think about.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you're searching for the ice rod and you haven't found any way into the mire area is presumably a bit spooky. He's also missing at least a couple of item caves. Like, Data hasn't seen Blind Hut. Data hasn't seen the various item caves that were in the mire area. And so, to him, there's a bunch of good items, good entrances left. Man, chat's busy talking amongst themselves, saying reasonable things. I'm not going to bother intervening. You guys carry on amongst yourselves. Because this is in a reasonable spot, a reasonably easy to get to spot. Climbing first, I think, is the better EV play. If GT was somewhere really terrible, then I think doing the big chest first would be correct, just because the expenditure to get back here after you've beaten it is so much higher. Days Cloud, yes, Ice Rod Hunt, and it's been Ice Rod Hunt for something like 20 minutes?
At least 20 minutes now, yeah.
From Zaga's point of view. Dataplet has had the GT Big Key for a long time because ZelgaDissan, in their usual style, left behind Left Side Swamp. But eventually full cleared the rest of the game, got back to Left Side Swamp, and is now doing Upstairs GT. Zelda doing a really nice job at the stop, but actually. Nice clean execution. No stress, no muss, no fuss. Has enough spare keys, then you have to murder those Almosaurus. I mean, you need the crystal either way. I think waiting until you have all 6 pod keys to beat pod is frankly bonkers. So,
there it is! We are in the mode of go.
Aga 2 gets to live to see another day. It was Nori. I don't remember. Was the earlier race with validation chest go mode also Zelda? Oh yeah, there was that one. There was I think there's been 3 seeds where there was something important in validation chest that I've done commentary for. So they're getting a little bit mixed up in my mind.
Yeah, that was the one that he had to, that he bounced past. He didn't get it right away.
In the last round, in fact. Acoustomatic, got GT big chest and question mark. Big key chest in pod and like terrible places like Hera Basement. He also has Skull 3 entrance that he hasn't done. But if he's been tracking real carefully, there might be no interesting entrances left. Because he has, I think, 3 unmarked entrances on his entire map. And off to Useless Ferry, where Ganon resides today.
And dataplet is going to get his hurts, which he will not be grateful for.
Might not even get to them before zelgadissan finishes this off. This is a really clean Ganon fight. That's all I really have to say about it. It is good job. Oh, Mish's Torque glitch. I jaced him.
This is what we get. Now don't fall.
Apparently that's happened this tournament too. Like, what the heck?
I think I tracked for that one, or I was at least watching it. It might have been right before I started tracking. I'm trying to remember. It was rough.
The ZSR bot will tell you the official time of 2:12:49. Get your GGs out and ready for zelgadissan.
GG's indeed.
Whee! I'm just checking with our restreamer to see if we're going to get a chat with our winner. We are. Neat.
Oh, yay!
Good evening. Congratulations.
Hey,
GG.
you're
How about that ice rod hunt?
I've been looking for just the ice rod in like 30, 40 minutes, and the fact that I just had go mode in my last turn speed in that chest to get go mode in that same chest today is I hate everything about this game. Cross key sucks.
Oh, don't be so down. You did really good.
You, I believe I did one of your early races, and you left behind left side swamp, which is a thing that not a lot of people are doing anymore. You want to talk about why you do that?
So when I entered swamp, the only things I needed were an ice rod and find any single freaking entrant. And so I figure, I need one item, one entrance. Let's just go to the back, and then we'll deal with coming back to left side later if we have to.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like since Diver Down happened, more people have sort of thought that those two checks were at least as good as two other random checks somewhere else than it used to be the case. It's I think you're one of the holdouts that to hate left side still. And I'm sorry about the validation chest. I calmed your last race too. That's a thing.
Yeah, it's all good. If I needed more than just one item, I absolutely would have done left side.
It's fair.
But since it was just one item, I said, what are the odds? It can't screw me again. There's no way.
Again.
So, yes, it's one item. There's a fair chance you're down to few enough entrances. There's some non-zero chance you need the mitts for Turtle Rock, which is real dumb, but possible.
Yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true.
Well, and at that point, there weren't a whole lot of checks other than Mitt's checks left.
Yeah, I was thinking I still had not found one connector, and I hadn't found, like I said, I hadn't found any Turtle Rock connector, so I was thinking, one of them's got to be probably headed up to Floating Island. But surely one of these entrances that I can get to in Turtle Rock is just going to be the Mire area, and then I don't need mitts unless it's Ice Palace or Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Nope. I'm sorry about that. I enjoyed Blind Spot in the pyramids, by the way. That was a productive use of your time.
I knew that had to be go mode. 5 freaking items at the Pyramid Ferry, and it was it got me to 19 hearts. So hooray for that!
I was really hoping you'd get to 20 by the end of it. As soon as I saw that, it was like heart, and another heart.
Yeah, I had skipped a piece of heart pretty early at the Lost Woods drop that was at Magic Bat had a piece of heart, so unfortunately there was no chance of 20.
I was trying to, when you got to 19, I was trying to remember if you'd skipped any, and I must have missed that one. Question, are there any interesting entrances left?
The only entrance I never found in terms of items is Mimic Cave.
Okay, so there is one chest out there still. You went to Pedestal without going via Skullwood's back, and I was wondering if you had decided that there was no chance that could possibly be interesting. Because there's 3 entrances unmarked on your map, and one chest between the 3 of them.
Yeah, honestly, after if GT didn't pay out, obviously I was going to go back and do the big chest, and then the very next thing I was going to do would be head to the Turtle Rock entrance, since I just got Ether in that Swamp big chest, and I got the big key right after leaving Swamp, so it's like maybe that's a sign. Go do Turtle Rock, but
I mean, when you're down to the last couple of spots in the game.
It makes sense.
And frankly, getting to the last couple of spots in the game in 212 is good effort. Early Mirror, early Pearl, early Sword. The early game was pretty nice to you, except for the bomb situation.
Finding bombs was surprisingly hard. I actually tracked that the first actual shop I found, except the one in Paradox, was at like half an hour.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and then you found a bunch of bombs. I think you got your first bomb at 15:30 or something. having cleared out Death Mountain, East Death Mountain, and the north half of Kakariko, you got your first actual bomb in your inventory at about 15 minutes. Which is actually a little bit of bad luck. The guards dropped bombs.
Yeah, I think I killed like 3 guards and never got a drop, so I just kind of said screw it.
Yeah. Dataplet is busy complaining at you in chat, by the way, if you want to respond.
Yeah, I see, and I don't blame him.
So thanks for racing, Dataplet. Sorry about that.
We're sorry about how that went for everyone.
It was. I mean, other than validation chest, everything's fine.
Yeah, it was really fast. I mean, 212 is good for what has been rolled lately, for sure.
Yeah, honestly, this was a really friendly seed, in my opinion, with the exception of that 30-plus minute ice rod hunt.
Yeah. No, I mean, and if like people like to be really results oriented about decision making in cross keys or link to pass rando in general. But I think that other than me disagreeing or semi disagreeing about Left Side Swamp, you did things in sort of a reasonable order, ticking off the things that were available to you from most dense to least dense. And it just happened to be the case that the correct location was fairly far down your list, which happens, right? But that doesn't mean that you spent 30 minutes doing the wrong things. It just meant that the right things happened to not be the winning lottery tickets. Is that the way is that a reasonable way to think about it?
I think so. I think it's absolutely fair. There's also a little bit of meta knowledge in that I know there's no way that Dataplet is skipping Left Side Swamp. So at that point, I was also a little bit of like meta game knowledge to try and get an edge where I could. So there was a little bit of psychology to it as well. But for the most part, I fully agree that it's just kind of how it happened in this particular time.
So you're buying a minute or whatever over Dataplet at the cost of perhaps getting burnt. That's the deliberate play there.
Yeah, pretty much. It's one of those where you're willing to sacrifice like a chest or two, and to try and get the time advantage, because there's no way I'm going to out experience Data at this mode. I'm gonna have to cut some corners and hope that execution might prevail. I haven't played this mode nearly as long, so I've got a lot of learning still to do and how to do certain things.
Your connector usage was pretty clean for the most part, which is one of the sort of tells for people that are more experienced. And you even did some slick quick swap stuff. So, which you're getting there. You're looking like one of the big boys. So,
thanks, I appreciate it.
It looks like you get the loser of Lin 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 versus Dazed Cloud when they finish their best 2 out of 3. They're into best of 3s up there in the winners bracket now. So, what are your thoughts on potential future opponents?
Just like pretty much every race for the last 3-4 races, I feel like I'm just waiting to be knocked out of this. Lin and Dazed are both really good runners, so I will have my work cut out for me regardless of who makes it. And I'm just looking forward to the chance. And I'm glad that it should. I think if I remember correctly, loser starts 2 out of 3 now as well. So
it's when it gets down to 8 people per bracket. So that I think is, well, it depends exactly how they're counting. Either next round or the round after. Yeah, you got to go in through one more best of 1 before you get to best 2 out of 3s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, this was that match. Never mind, I can't read the bracket. Yes, you get best 2 out of 3 against your next opponent. Reading brackets at 2 in the morning. All right. Apparently, we're off the stream. So, We are.
Oh, we're off stream already?
No, we
No?
aren't.
No.
They-
Oh,
Not yet.
whoops.
I'm getting my own commentary in my ears, and it's all of a sudden because something weird happened. I apologize for that, folks.
Oh, no worries.
It turns out hearing my own commentary on 20 seconds delay is super freaky. Sorry about that. Liberal, do you have any more insightful questions for our winner?
Nothing really insightful, but that was really good. And where Excalibur did notice your quick swapping techniques that you use, that made it that made something beneficial for cross keys, but not so much in other formats, which was really nice.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
getting a
a-
bit more experienced with it. I
Yeah.
play at the mystery races now, where there's also quick swap. So the more practice I'm getting with it, the more comfortable I'm getting with some certain quick swap specific strats. So.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I certainly am not good enough at yet is when it's 10 or 11 items away, remembering if it's 10 or 11 items away and hitting it without having to like derp around looking for the right button.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so congratulations again.
Yep.
And GG to dataplet as well if you are still in the chat, because you guys both did really good.
Yep, GG's. And good luck with your next match, zelgadissan.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you guys for having us, and GG's to Data for sure.
Okay, and just to wrap up, because I know it's very late for Excalibur, who graciously
Thank you.
volunteered to commentate. So thank you very much, Bluebarrel and Excalibur, for doing commentary, and also Sari UX and Latebit for doing tracking. And we do have some more matches coming up this week. I believe the next one that's scheduled is on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, which I believe is 1800 UTC, and that is Andy versus Top Life Game 2, and I believe it's Winners Bracket Round 4, which is where the best of 3 starts. So, okay, so hopefully we'll see another match or something else that Zelda Speedruns is bringing for you. So, thanks everyone for joining us, and we hope to see you again. Bye!
Have a good night!
Yawn.